interesting that you say it, right? Because when I read the book, I actually had the clear view that there's a view on it, right? You actually go through the trends and the drivers that drive the companies outside and inside, right? You had a clear view on how technology will affect it in terms of AI, in terms of decentralization, in terms of upskilling. You had a clear approach on saying, what are the areas that are not working really well? And we actually have to take the box and reshuffle it, right? We have to think about incentives models. We have to think about, so you were shuffling it a bit to say, what if, right? So that sparked me a bit in that, right? So Ivan, you were the one that covered the AI topics, right? So what will be the new role with automation and artificial intelligence? And what is it what leaders need to think about?
Well, I wouldn't say it was just me, but from this perspective of us trying to figure out different scenarios, about what can happen from the business side once you have a new technology that is actually in place. I think that is something that is really important for everyone to read, know, and understand. Of course, we are looking at it from our own perspective, from something we have been researching and trying to implement over the years, and where do we see this going. But I viewed the book itself, primarily as the conversation starter, and after that, we can discuss in many cases like specific pilots that we did, or that even maybe we didn't do them, but we heard about them and know about some of the results, etc. And to me personally, the book is mostly about thinking about this future at all, and trying to position yourself to go where the ball is going instead of where the ball is today.
Okay. Do you have a view on how AI will impact work?
Well, that's a good question. I think that generally, viewing it from my own perspective, I do believe that we are going to have this big shift towards creative professions, not just in terms of like art or writing or extremely creative work, but anything that requires a lot of clerical work, will be taken over by AI and individuals who know how to run it. Because I believe that in the future, this might lead into a direction where we have less big companies. When I say big companies, I mean companies with a lot of employees, because managing people is always an overhead, and managing computers is less of an overhead. So I hope that this will actually lead into a new type of entrepreneurship, where you have smaller groups of people, doing work of big corporations, but we actually end up with a lot of small businesses that actually run with huge financial returns.
Yeah. I actually like the view that you took on the roles in the book in reality. So AI by design is the automation of intelligence. And when you are automating something which is already non-core, so everything in systems, you're automating for cost savings, and you're automating
yes, and a lot of people, when I talk about this, they also say like, yes, but a person will still do this better or whatever. And I usually reply that it doesn't really matter, because with a person, you might need 3 to 5 iterations to get where you want, and you might need several weeks to have those iterations. But with AI, you can have 1,000 iterations between 5 minutes. So, your ability to reach the end goal, might be brute forced in a way. And at that moment, that doesn't really matter. So for many things that will not require creativity, in these jobs, but might be reached through different levels of, through a lot of automation, etc., they can also be pretty much brute forced. And that's why I believe that we will definitely see a period in time where we'll have more and more new types of innovations that we didn't actually see before.